Viewers, hello and welcome. In today's video, we're going to talk about UFOs, the mysterious objects seen flying in the sky. Are they real? We'll show you some evidence and footage that might just surprise you. So without wasting any time, let's get straight into the video. And if you're new to our channel, don't forget to subscribe and share this video with your friends, so you never miss any of our upcoming exciting and mysterious videos. Now, let's begin. In the hot summer of 1947, something extraordinary happened in the quiet desert near Roswell, New Mexico. A violent storm swept across the plains, and when the sun rose the next morning, a local rancher named Mac Brazel discovered strange pieces of debris scattered across his land. It wasn't like anything he had ever seen before. Fragments of shiny metallic material that couldn't be bent, burned, or broken. Some of the pieces had strange markings, almost like symbols from an unknown language. Confused and curious, Brazel collected some of the material and brought it to Sheriff George Wilcox, who quickly contacted officials at the nearby Roswell Army Airfield. Soon, military officers arrived at the scene to investigate. On July 8, 1947, the Army released a stunning announcement that would shake the entire nation. They claimed to have recovered a flying disc. Newspapers across America printed the headline, "RAAF captures flying saucer on ranch in Roswell region." For the first time, the U.S. military had used the term flying saucer in an official statement, confirming what many Americans had already been whispering about since reports of strange objects in the sky began earlier that year. The idea that an alien spacecraft had crash-landed in the New Mexico desert spread like wildfire across the country, but the excitement didn't last long. Within 24 hours, the military completely changed its story. A new press release was issued, this time claiming the wreckage was nothing more than a weather balloon. At a press conference, Major Jesse Marcel, the intelligence officer who had first examined the debris, stood before cameras holding up ordinary pieces of balloon rubber, sticks, and foil. The U.S. Army insisted that the case was closed, but many locals weren't convinced. They had seen the strange metallic material with their own eyes, and they knew it was not the same debris being shown in those photos. To them, the so-called weather balloon explanation felt like a cover-up. After that, the Roswell story faded from the headlines. For decades, it became little more than a rumor, a strange local legend, whispered about in small town, New Mexico. That was until the 1970s, when Jesse Marcel broke his silence. In an interview that shocked the world, Marcel admitted that the official story was a lie. He said the debris he found was not from this earth. He described thin metallic sheets that could not be cut or burned, and beams covered in symbols that looked like hieroglyphs, but weren't from any known language. His words reignited public interest in Roswell and marked the beginning of America's modern UFO movement. Over the following years, more witnesses came forward: ranchers, soldiers, nurses, and even retired Air Force personnel. Some claimed that not only had the wreckage been recovered, but that small, non-human bodies were also found at the crash site. A nurse from the Roswell Army Hospital reportedly saw tiny humanoid figures with large heads and dark eyes. Others claimed that the military threatened people into silence, warning them not to speak of what they had seen. Although skeptics dismissed these stories as imagination or rumor, the consistency of the testimonies across different witnesses made it hard to ignore. In the 1990s, the U.S. Air Force tried once again to put the mystery to rest. They released a detailed report claiming that the wreckage was actually part of a top-secret Cold War project known as Project Mogul. The purpose of Project Mogul was to use high-altitude balloons with sensitive, microphones to detect Soviet nuclear tests. According to this explanation, the unusual materials, the metallic foil, the lightweight beams, and the strange shapes were part of this classified project. The Air Force also claimed that the reports of alien bodies were simply misremembered stories about crash test dummies used years later in unrelated experiments. While this explanation satisfied some scientists and historians, many UFO researchers and Roswell believers felt it raised more questions than it answered. Why? They asked, did the military first announce they had captured a flying saucer? Why did they rush to cover up the event within hours? And why did so many credible witnesses claim to have seen something that looked nothing like a balloon or weather device? As the decades passed, the Roswell story grew, transforming from a local mystery into a worldwide phenomenon. The incident became deeply connected to another secretive location, Area 51 in Nevada. Many believed that the wreckage from Roswell, and possibly even the alien bodies, were transported there for further study. Workers from Area 51 later described seeing strange crafts being tested, objects that could hover silently or move at incredible speeds. For decades, the government denied the existence of Area 51 altogether, until 2013. When declassified CIA documents confirmed that the base was real. Even then, officials claimed it was only used for testing experimental aircraft, not alien technology. But by then, the damage was done. The secrecy had only fueled public suspicion. The Roswell UFO crash had become a cornerstone of American conspiracy culture. Movies, TV shows, and books turned it into legend. The 1996 blockbuster Independence Day, the hit series The X-Files, and dozens of documentaries all drew inspiration from Roswell. It became a symbol, a reflection, of the deep curiosity and distrust that Americans often feel toward their government when it comes to the unknown. Today, Roswell, New Mexico, proudly calls itself the UFO capital of the world. The town hosts an annual UFO festival that draws thousands of visitors from around the globe. Museums display replicas of alien spacecraft, government documents, and artifacts related to the case. What was once a forgotten desert crash site is now a cultural landmark, proof that even the smallest town can hold the world's biggest mystery. In recent years, interest in UFOs, now officially called UAPs, or unidentified aerial phenomena, has resurfaced. In the mainstream, the Pentagon has released multiple reports acknowledging that there are objects in the sky that remain unexplained. Some of these objects perform maneuvers that seem to defy the laws of physics. Even though the US government maintains there is no evidence of extraterrestrial life, many people can't help but notice how closely these modern reports resemble the original Roswell descriptions: silent crafts, impossible movements, military secrecy. It all sounds familiar. So what really happened that July night in 1947? Was it a secret military experiment that went wrong? A Cold War spy balloon mistaken for an alien ship? Or did something truly extraordinary happen in that desert? Something the world still isn't ready to understand? Skeptics argue it was all a misunderstanding, blown out of proportion by imagination and fear. Believers insist it was the first contact between humans and beings from another world. The truth, perhaps, lies somewhere between science and secrecy. More than 75 years later, the Roswell UFO incident remains one of the most enduring mysteries in American history. It was the spark that ignited global fascination with UFOs and extraterrestrial life. It changed how we look at the night sky and how we question authority. Whether it was an alien spacecraft, a classified experiment, or something else entirely. Roswell reminds us of one thing, that our universe is still full of secrets waiting to be uncovered. So the next time you find yourself beneath a dark, star-filled sky, think about that night in Roswell. Think about the people who saw something fall from the heavens and were told never to speak of it again. Think about the questions we still ask. Are we alone? What's really out there? And maybe, just maybe, remember that the truth might already be here, waiting in the desert.